Cheflock scones in The Poisoned Palate. Act 1. A Fateful Bite. The evening was a spectacle of culinary grandeur. The grand gastronomy showcase, held in the opulent Ganache de la Creme ballroom, was a gathering of the world's finest chefs and gastronomes. Among them stood Saffron Roux, a culinary virtuoso whose sauces were said to sing on the tongue. Cheflock Scones and Dr. Dimsung observed from the side of the room, sampling a selection of amuse-bouches while engaging in quiet discussion. Saffron Roux's latest creation is said to redefine the balance of savory and sweet, Dimsum murmured, sipping a delicate consommé. I am curious to see if such claims hold weight. Saffron stepped forward to present his signature dish, an elegantly plated truffle-infused soufflé. He raised a bite to his lips, savoring the moment, then froze. His expression twisted in sheer horror. He choked, clutching the table. I can't taste anything. A gasp rippled through the crowd. The once celebrated chef now stood trembling, his hand quivering over his tongue as though willing it to function. Murmurs of concern turned to panic, and the showcase descended into chaos. Cheflock's gaze sharpened. He strode forward, intercepting the fallen fork before it hit the tablecloth. He held it to his nose, inhaling with a critical eye. No immediate toxins. The souffle's aroma is intact. Dimsung bent over Saffron, checking his vitals. His pulse is steady, but his panic is real. Whatever has afflicted him is neither a simple allergy, nor a known poison. Cheflock straightened, his eyes scanning the retreating figures of event organizers as they hastily covered the scene. Someone doesn't want this getting out. Act 2. The pattern emerges. By morning, news of the incident had vanished. Not a single publication mentioned Saffron Roux's collapse. Instead, a small blurb buried in the back pages of the Culinary Digest stated that he had decided to take a sudden, indefinite leave from cooking. Cheflock and Dimsung sat in their office at Baker's Row, poring over disappearances of renowned chefs over the past year. Too many to be coincidence, Dimsung noted. Each one left the industry abruptly, no cause given. Not left, Cheflock corrected. They were taken. A knock on the door interrupted their musings. A figure, clad in a hood, slipped inside. Clove Brûlé, a former pastry chef now living in fear, removed his hood. I don't have long. They know I'm talking to you. Cheflock motioned for him to sit. Tell me everything. Clove's fingers trembled around a crumpled napkin. It's Mitchell and Artie. They're perfecting a poison that can erase taste itself. No antidote, no cure, just an empty mouth. Forever. Dimsung's face paled. A toxin that removes taste? That's monstrous. Clove nodded. They're testing on chefs, refining the formula before they sell it to governments, corporations, anyone who wants control. Control? Dimsung asked. Imagine being able to dictate how people perceive food. What if only one company could make anything taste good? What if an entire nation's food supply became dull and inedible overnight? Clove's voice dropped lower. They don't just want to erase taste, they want to own it. Before another word could be spoken, Clove gasped. His hands clutched at his throat. His eyes widening, he collapsed, his last breath escaping with a whisper. It's already too late. A thin metallic scent lingered in the air. Cheflock and Dimsung exchanged a glance. Mitchell and Artie had struck again. Act 3. Into the lion's den. There was only one way forward, to infiltrate Mitchell and Artie's network. Cheflock's investigation led him to an invitation-only event, the Banquet of Taste, an underground dining experience for the world's culinary elite. The most exclusive event in the industry, Dim Sum remarked as he adjusted his cuffs, and the most dangerous. Using forged credentials, they entered a candlelit hall adorned with decadent table settings. At the head of the room sat figures Cheflock had long suspected, Michelinardi's inner circle. Servers moved between tables, carrying silver trays laden with exotic dishes. Cheflock whispered, "We must locate the source of the poison." Dim Sum nodded, but his attention was drawn to the central table, where a dish covered in a golden cloche was being unveiled. The diners who had paid the highest fees leaned forward in anticipation. A masked figure at the head of the table spoke. "Tonight, you taste the future." The cloche was lifted, revealing a glistening, perfectly marbled cut of meat, its juices shimmering under the chandeliers. The masked figure gestured grandly. "For those who dine with Michelinardi, taste is a privilege." Cheflock's eyes narrowed. He recognized the same metallic scent that had lingered after Clove Brulee's death. A realization dawned. The poison was in the food, but only served to select individuals. Act 4. The trap closes. Cheflock discreetly retrieved a sample, intending to analyze it later. But before he could slip away, a firm hand clamped down on his shoulder. "Leaving so soon, Mr. Scones?" The masked figure loomed over him. "Surely you wouldn't want to leave without a taste." A plate was set before him, the poisoned dish. Every eye in the room turned toward him. Dim Sum's voice was tight. "Cheflock." Cheflock exhaled calmly, lifting his fork. It would be rude to refuse. He took a bite. For a moment, nothing. The flavors burst forth, a dance of richness and spice. Then, slowly, a creeping emptiness spread across his tongue. His eyes met Dim Sum's. "I can't taste anything." Act 5. Taking hold. The world blurred as the poison took hold. Dim Sum caught Cheflock before he could collapse fully, his grip firm and desperate. The masked figure laughed softly. "It's a shame. Even the great Cheflock Scones is not immune to progress." The last thing Cheflock heard before the darkness swallowed him was Dim Sum's voice, tight with urgency. "We have to get him out of here." To be continued.